3, 2, 1. What's going on, everyone? You're watching Ash on Comics. I'm Ash, and I'm a little bit late. I got a good excuse this time. I was reading King in Black. It's pretty good. Yeah, also Donny Cates, by the way, since that's the theme for tonight. If you're not reading King in Black, I'm going to guess that you're not a Marvel reader, because it's actually one of the best things over in Marvel right now. Yeah, so I was reading it and I looked up and I was like, oh shit, I'm 5 minutes late, gotta start. So that's where you have it. No technical difficulties tonight. Everything was actually going really swimmingly. And yes, I just said swimmingly. I was just, I had time and just like, I'm gonna sit here, read a comic book, wait for time to start. But I'm kind of a slow reader, so I didn't read it as fast as I thought it would go. Let's see. Tonight, Melissa and Sons is first. Good to see you, Melissa. Good to see you claiming back your throne. RDV says, is it nappy time yet? Good to see you, RDV. And Smarani's in the house. And Eric Breen saying, as mom 5. Were you trying to say mom? As mom? I don't know what you're trying to say, Eric. I think you messed that up. Good to see you, Eric. Oh yeah, there you go. You saw the correction later in your chat. Ronnie says she napped earlier, but missed RDV's live stream so that she could make my live stream. Oh, that was very nice of you. She didn't actually say that. I just kind of put words in her mouth. Let's see. Who else is here? Zach Richmond is in the house. Good to see you, Zach. Ronnie's having a double mocha espresso coffee with extra chocolate mixed in to wake up. Does extra chocolate actually help you wake up? I don't know if that's a thing, Maranya. Tonight's show is brought to you by Samuel Adams Boston Lager. Because when the damn tyrants are taxing you too much, kick their tea into the fucking harbor, right? At least that's what our grandparents used to believe. Now we're a bunch of sissies. And we say, oh, we need more tax. Please, tax us more. Let's see. RDV is doped up on muscle relaxants and laying in bed. Why are you doped up on muscle relaxants? What are you doing? Says I can look up or move right arm. Pull the muscle while snow blowing the driveway. My snowblower is old and all metal. So basically what RDV is saying is he used a snowblower from another time where people were actually physical. And RDV's not used to being physical and as such, strained a muscle. I hope you get better, RDV. Let's see. He says it can't look up. Jeez, buddy. Don't kill yourself out there. Zach says he's all coffeeed out from today. Been drinking a lot of coffee today? I can't drink that much coffee anymore. It just wrecks my gut. Damn, Sam Adams is still a good beer. It's about the hoppiest beer I like to drink too, by the way. I don't know what the deal is, all these people and their damn IPAs ruining beer. You get much more hops than like a Sam Adams, and it just stops tasting like beer. Let's see. Zach says just a foot. Doesn't sound like much of a snowman. Oh, you're talking about a foot of snow. I miss having snow. That was one of the things I liked in Colorado. All the natives would bitch about it when I was living out there, and I was like, no, it's kind of nice. A couple months out of the year, you have to get up and a little bit early before going to work, and sweep off your car. It was kind of relaxing. I don't know. It's kind of weird. And I know everyone that all lived out there their whole lives like, this sucks. And I was like, I grew up in California, Southern California, where it was just basically 3 months of summer and then 1 month of like really fucking hot summer. And I'm not used to the change of weather, so it was really, I miss it. Now that I'm back here, I'm just like, oh God. Let's see. Ronnie says, you can keep that snow too, RDV. I like it. I like it outside the window, but going out in it, do not feel like reenacting the scene of Bambi on ice. Thank you very much. We have to say it that way always from now on. A foot of snow on top of 6 inches already on the ground. Oh, is it getting to be like the day after tomorrow out there, RDV? Remember that movie? That was a really shitty movie. If you haven't seen that movie, don't waste your time. And if you have seen that movie, then you know what I'm talking about. Eric says we may get flurries tomorrow. Well, out where you live, you get flurries. Out in Southern California, we get furries. I think I would take flurries instead. Eric is reading Iron Man 201. Oh, going back to the good old days. Let's see. Stupid chat keeps skipping. I hate when that does that. I gotta scroll back up. Zach says King of Black is insane, isn't it? It's pretty crazy. I'm really enjoying it. It's not the best thing that Donnie's written. I think Thanos Wins is better written. I think Donnie is being a little bit sloppy as time has gone on. I think he can write well, but now when you're not having to prove yourself, it's human nature to tend not to. But King of Black is still really fun. I think it would have been a lot better had it not been this gigantic mega event. I'm only reading the core books and Venom. I'm not reading all the millions of spin-off books. And for the most part, I feel like I'm getting the story. But then there's other parts where I'm like, wow, I feel like I missed a big gap of something. And that's kind of annoying. And you shouldn't have to buy 50 books to follow a damn story. But you really, it's still worth it. Like, I think King of Black, you just get the main 5 or 6 issues, however many it is. And it's pretty fun. It's kind of what an event should be. It's like the end of the world type thing. It's very much reminds me of, kind of what the Infinity Gauntlet did. Just put all these crazy heroes together to fight this mega villain. And, of course, they all get their ass kicked. And, eventually they're going to win. But how are they going to do it? It's just fun. And I just got to the end of issue 3, so I'm all caught up now, finally, because RDV was bugging me. He was like, man, have you read King of Black yet? I'm like, no, I'm behind. Because at that point, I had only read the first issue. And I was like, I got to read the Venoms. And so he's like, you got to read it. And I was like, all right. So I read it, and he was teasing me about something that happens in the 3rd issue. And I thought I got to it. I was like, oh, this is what RDV was talking about. And I was like, this is kind of cool. Kind of. Not that cool. I mean, it's all right. Whatever. I don't really care. I don't know why RDV's flipping out about it. And then I got to the very end, the last page, and I was all, oh, that wasn't it. It was this. Awesome. So I'm very excited. And funny enough, I'm not going to say how, because I don't want to spoil it, but it ties into Thanos Wins. Like, it just, I like that Donny Cates connects all his stuff. Ronnie says, I don't like symbiotes, but I like how this young upstart Cates is writing my guy Iron Man, like Iron Man and King of Black. The jury for me is still out on his other writing skills. Convince me, Ash. Oh, all right. I mean, you're not liking Thanos Wins? This is a pretty good story. Tonight's show was brought to you by Vicodin and BioFreeze. I don't know what BioFreeze is. Jimmy is in the house. He says, hey. I don't know if he actually says it that way, but I can't hear him, so I have to give him a voice. Ed Brewer's here. He says, damn, RDV, I thought that was a typical Tuesday for you. Get better. RDV wants brownies. Let's see. Jimmy says, manga hater, read Akira. That's the next video. All right. Let's kind of funny, a little piece of trivia, not trivia, just fun fact, Flash fact. I've been watching Flash, the TV show. Oh man, is it kind of man, the CW shows just aren't good. Akira is one of my Grail series. Back in the day in the 80s, Marvel, under its Epic imprint, had the rights to Akira, and they printed the whole Akira series in comic book format. Really nice, the prestige format, with the non-staple binding, just like Dark Knight Returns was done. A prestige format, every book. I believe every book was like 48 pages. Left to right, like true English-speaking people should be reading. None of this right to left weeb nonsense. Left to right, comic book size format, so it was bigger pages, so you could see the art better. And it was colored. It's the only place you can get the colored version of Akira, and Marvel can't reprint it because they don't have the rights to it anymore. So I like Akira. I could go out and just buy the manga versions of it, and it would be fun. But owning the comic book versions of it would be a great collection. And getting them is not terribly expensive until you get to the last issue, which I believe is like a couple $100 because it had such a minute print run. So that's the daunting part. But maybe one day, if I run into some money, that'd be a cool thing to get. Let's see. Ronnie is passing out cake. Let's see. Ed Brewer says, how epic was the recent Sergeant Bats video? I don't know. I didn't know Sergeant Bats did a recent video. I'm sorry. Should I go watch it? Like, am I missing something? I didn't even know he was doing videos anymore. Quirks. I actually had, at one time, the Akira Prestige format trade paperback that Marvel put out. They were giving it away at Worldcon 1989. They did a trade paperback of Akira? That Marvel? I didn't know they did that. I thought they only just did the... Are you just talking about, like, the issue? I don't know what you're talking about, Marania. Silver Surfer Black is Donny Cates' best book, in my opinion. It's good. It's good. King in Black is awesome. Love the end of issue 3, but I feel like I saw it somewhere before. Did you feel that way, Doug? Good to see you, by the way. Ronnie says, Ed, I'll have to check that out. I haven't seen Bats video forever. Eric Breen says, it's MAGA Bats now. It's MAGA Bats. What? That's goofy. All right. So Jimmy says he'll be back. All right. Well, we'll continue the show. I have a swig. We'll be right back after the swig of this beer. Sam Adams, founding father, and a damn good beer. Let's see. I've totally lost the plot here. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's take a look over into the world of comics. I like to check out digital comics. I think it's some really crazy sales if you want to read old back issues. I know Breen's a big back issue guy, but he doesn't know how to work electronic thingies, so he doesn't do digital comics. But the rest of you who can figure out how to use a phone or a tablet or a computer, I recommend a tablet. Tablet's really the way to go. If you read comics on a phone or a computer, it's not a pleasurable experience, and I can understand. And I'm by no means saying get rid of your physical books or stop doing physical books. Physical books are great. I'm trying to get all the Ed Brubaker hardcover stuff. It's awesome. What I'm trying to say is have the best of both worlds. That's my theory, right? I buy my physical floppies. I like to collect comics. I like having the physical trades. But I also like the option to read digitally, because especially when you have a good device. I happen to have a 12-inch iPad Pro that I'm blessed to have, and it's nice. I can read, like I said, I tell people I can read in the dark. I can read even if I have Cheeto fingers. I can read in bed and not worry about falling. And I do oftentimes read myself to sleep. And then if it was a comic, I know I would wake up the next day and it would be all like crushed underneath me as I like rolled over it. And no, it's no good. It's no good. So, and plus I can carry my collection with me if I want. I can take my iPad lots of places. So, yeah, it's just a good thing to do. So digital books. Plus, on top of that, digital books, you save a shit ton. Like, for instance, right here, Marvel's having a Chip Zdarsky sale. This is new. Did not know about this. So this is why I check periodically. Look at this. You can get the first 4 volumes of the new Daredevil by Chip Zdarsky. $2.50 for each trade. These things are like $15 a piece physically. So for less than the price of a comic book, that's good. I've been wanting to check out this Marvel 2-in-1 when Chip Zdarsky was doing it before Slott came back and took Fantastic Four. I still can't fathom why they didn't give Chip Fantastic Four. I don't get it. Everyone was loving this thing in Human Torch. Everyone was. I mean, I don't know anyone that said anything bad about it. And then they brought back Fantastic Four and they gave it to Slott. And I don't hear anyone say good things about it except for England But I think England sometimes, what is it they do out in Florida? They inhale the bath salts. You always see on the news like the crazy killer, some guy like, and he's like, and it's always like it was a thing for a while when he'd be like, oh, and he was high on bath salts. You're like, what? That's what Florida people do apparently. So I kid. Anyways, I never read these, so I should probably do that. I read this Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man. This was not good, by the way. I read this on the channel. The last issue was good. Had a really human story about Peter Parker and J. Jonah Jameson that was surprising. Not worth the price of the book, but what are you going to do? Oh, look at this. Spider-Man life story for $3.39. You get the whole... This is one of the best... This is probably the best thing that Marvel has done in 20 years. And if I'm wrong, if you think, oh, Ash, you're high as a kite, they've done better. Tell me. I want to read it. Because I read the Brubaker Captain America. This is better. I read the Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil. This is better. I read Grant Morrison's X-Men. I won't mention that. I'm trying to think, like, what has Marvel done in 20 years that's epic? This is the only thing that I know. Anyways, for less than the price of a full comic book, you can get the whole life story. Man, I might pick this up just to have a reading copy because all I have is the floppies. Let's see. I should probably get back to look at the chats because I'm not even looking at the chats while you guys while I'm sitting here looking at. RDV says, Ash, let me join. Arnold wants to read a part of Thanos. That's as good as I can do it. I am definitely subpar compared to RDV when it comes to the Arnold. But I just need to practice, I think. I just need to practice. Ed says, I don't really drink, but I do like Sam Adams or Killian's Red. Both real good. I don't know if I'd... Okay, I haven't had Killian's Red in a while, so I'm not going to comment on it. Sam Adams is pretty good. Sam Adams is a very hearty flavor, though. I think Sam Adams is a beer for people who like beer. If you're not really a beer person, go with something lighter. That'd be my suggestion. Like a Corona Light. That's a good start. Corona Light, and then put a squeeze of lime. tastes even less like beer. It's a really good gateway. Let's see. Dan Slott's Fantastic Four 2019 run is great. All right, so now I know two people who both influence each other. Little group think going on over there? I don't know. I can't believe Dan Slott is capable of doing anything great. Slott's Fantastic Four has been pretty solid since number 25 with the new artist. So solid that no one talks about it. No one. It just, Ed says, yes, dude, you ain't huffing bath salts. You ain't living. I should huff some bath salts on this channel. Eric says, no, it's not. I don't know what he's referring to. Maybe he's agreeing with me. Maybe Dan Slott? What is he? What are you saying? No. Or maybe you're talking about my accent, my shitty accent. Sorry, I don't do a good impression. Ash is sniffing paste again. I don't sniff paste, Eric. I told you I eat paste. Eric says, actually, your arm was pretty good. Yeah, but not like RDV's. This is next level good. Must be all the paste. All right, cool. I caught up with the chats. Remember this book? Holy crap. I almost want to get this just to read this. Look at this. Conan the Barbarian, $20.99. Stupid. Oh, by Gary Duggan. It's always Gary Duggan. Oh, look at this shitty interior art. This is like Marvel doesn't even try. Look at this. You're going to do almost a full page spread. And you're going to have this shitty fucking... There's no detail in the art. Oh my God, it's so gay. Gay with an E. Not gay as in a sexual preference. Are you even allowed to say sexual preference anymore? I don't know. Look, you can read a bunch of Daredevils on Unlimited. First 10 issues. Comixology Unlimited is a good service to have. $5.99 a month. You can read as much as you want from Comixology, and they have a huge library of stuff. And it's Marvel, DC, and Independence. Whereas you pay $10 a month, you can get Marvel Unlimited, and you will get access to more Marvel comics, but you won't get any DC or any Independence. So if you're a person who likes to read a wide variety of things, this is really good, and it's cheaper. And eventually everything comes onto Unlimited. You know, it's a matter of waiting or getting super cheap discounts. Sometimes just buy the stuff. It's cheap. This Zdarsky book here, this Doom 2099, this was good. This was... I was shocked at how good this was. This tied up the original Doom 2099 series with a really shocker twist to it. Howard the Duck. Oh my God, I forgot. Zdarsky did Howard the Duck. One thing to do, stay away from comedy. Whatever Zdarsky's done comedy, just don't touch it. Doesn't know how to do comedy. All right, I'm sitting here way too long. Let's see. Hey, nobody talked about Venditti's Hawkman, and we all know good that run was. What do you mean no one talked about Venditti's Hawkman? Everybody talked about Venditti's Hawkman. It's all you would hear everywhere was like, it's great. Like in comic circles, people are freaking out over it. Now, did it sell? Correct. It did not sell. But all those in the know sort of comic geeks doing channels like me and everyone, Hawkman was, I think it was very, very talked about. Very critical darling, but very low mass appeal. Got a Hawkeye sale. Marvel X-Force sale. Do they have Rick Remender's X-Force? I've been wanting to read that. Everyone says, Ash, you got to read Rick Remender's Uncanny X-Force series. That's the good stuff. Not Sam Humphries. Avoid Sam Humphries like the plague. So, where? So it says, here. Uncanny X-Force by Rick Remender. So it's this one. Oh, and of course, see? $8.49. but this is a big volume. Yeah, 500 pages. So 500 pages for under $10. You get 20 issues and material from another one. Wow. Man, I'd pull the trigger on this right now if I... Oh, it's got good interior art too. Look at that. Yeah, a lot of people were hot on this. And I just want to read some good X-Men again. X-Men was my jam. And Rick Remender is a pretty solid writer. Oh, look at this. Are you kidding me? There's a samurai sentinel. That is badass. Well, look, 5-star rating. People like this book. Oh, I might have to come back. And look. Anyone else read Rick Remender's X-Force and can confirm or deny? Let's see. Ed Brewer says, Conan of the future. Ash, did you see that Marvel's holding a vote to see who's going to be the next team of X-Men? Says Zach. Yeah, I did. Wes over at Thinking Critical put out a video on that. And all I can do is shake my head and just be like, what the... Marvel is garbage. So people go, what? Oh, no, Ash, this is good. They're going to listen to the fans. Okay, hold on. It's time out. Remember when Jonathan Hickman was put on X-Men because Hickman's got this master plan? Everyone would tell me, oh, no, Ash, you don't understand. Hickman, man, he plots things out for years, and he takes his time, and he gets to it's Jonathan Hickman. And then I say, okay, hold on. So Jonathan Hickman has this great freaking master plan of what he's doing. And they're just going to let the audience vote for who's going to be the X-Men? How does that work? How do you tell a story and you have this all planned out, but in the middle of your telling a story, you let the audience just pick who's going to be in a part of it? It doesn't work. That tells me that there is no plan, that they're just winging it. This is just as they go. It's like Disney Star Wars. Like, they made the first movie and they had no idea what they were going to do with the sequel. And so Rian Johnson came on and go, okay, I'll write something. And he wrote something, and too much controversy, and it was over. And they had no idea what they were going to do after that. And so they brought JJ, we fired the other guy that was going to do the third movie. Can you come back and do something? He's like, I don't have any ideas. Like, that's okay. We don't have, just come and make something. Oh, okay. And no plan. This is what is happening with X-Men right now. And you got like 10 to 12 books ongoing of just nonsense. They have such nonsensical plan that they just finished how many books was it? 20 something books for X of Sword. Basically, it was just a sword tournament. Just a tournament. That wasn't even really a tournament, because apparently there's only like a couple sword fights in the whole thing. This is stupid. Marvel doesn't know what they're doing. This is ridiculous. I'm encouraging people, go vote on this thing and go vote for the dumbest character. All of us should just go and vote for the most ridiculous, ludicrous. I'm voting for Gold Balls. I want Gold Balls. Is he a choice? Do I get to vote for him? I'm going to vote for the most stupid characters. And I just hope they just get a team that's absolutely idiotic, because that's what this is. I want this to be exposed. This has got to be a prank by Jonathan Hickman. I cannot believe, because I like the guy's right. He's a brilliant writer in many ways. He's not a perfect writer. He can't do everything, but the things that he can do well, he does really, really freaking well. I'm reading Decorum right now. It's one of his ongoing series, and I'm really liking it. If you follow my channel and you know about the show, the Unnamed Indie Comic Show that I do with Skip. One of the things we're doing is following along through the trade series for East of West. And that book, so far, is phenomenal. I'm very scared of how the plane's going to land. Only because I know of what's happening with X-Men. I'm just like, I've seen this guy fall. I've seen him fail. So I know that just because it's awesome right now doesn't mean it's, but it is. I've gone through 5 trades, and it's East of West is amazing. It's really amazing. I read House of X, Powers of X was my introduction to him. If I'm gonna say anything comes close to life story as far as awesome, something that Marvel's done awesome, that's gonna be the closest. House of X and Powers of X was legitimately like all-time classic, instant classic status. The problem that book suffers is that it doesn't end. It just sort of leads into X-Men, which just fumbles the ball. And if Eric Breen is in the house, he'll get this. What's the what was the name of that running back? He used to play the Cleveland Browns. Eric would know this guy. I used to know his name. And there was that famous game of the NFC or AFC Championship, and the Browns are going to win, and he fumbles it into the end zone and lets the Broncos go to the Super Bowl. And it's like one of the most cringy, embarrassing. And this, God, what was his name? Like Byron or something Bynum, something Bynum. I can't remember his name, but man, if you're a football guy, you know what I'm talking about. That's what I feel like X-Men is. It's just I'm doing amazing. We're going to win the Super Bowl. Oh, fumble, Ruski. Just over. I'm just blabbing right now. I've lost the plot. Let's see. Zach says, I don't know about X-Force, but Uncanny Avengers and Secret Avengers were really good reads. Did he do those? Remender? I've only read a little bit of Remender, and the stuff that I've read is independent. And I read Deadly Class, and I didn't like it. But I did read the first issue of Black Science, and that was a legitimately amazing first issue. Let's see. RDV says, I bet Hawk Dude sold. DC just hated the character. No, Hawkman didn't sell. It was at like 17,000 units the last time I checked, which is not good. And it probably went down from there even. And the fact that it went on as long as it did, to be quite honest, means that DC doesn't hate the character. They floated Hawkman for a good long time. The one thing that they didn't do was promote it in any way, that's the real sad thing. New entry in Candygate, Kit Kat Mint and Dark Chocolate. Oh, that sounds weird. Doug says, I just caught up to 7 to Eternity now that there is 1 issue left. Awesome. How you liking 7 to Eternity? That's another one of the Rick Remender's books that I read the first issue of, and I really like the first issue. Is that a series worth diving into? Are you enjoying? Like, is it holding up? Because sometimes a series will start off like really good. You're like, oh, I love it, and then it kind of just peters off. And you're like, that I really loved that first issue, and I really wanted to read more. I just held off because I'm behind on so many things, and I'm like, I have all the time in the world to catch up on this. Let's see. Zach says, oh, I know they're not going to listen to fans. I'm just laughing at his latest gimmick. Oh, no, you should. You listen. You vote. Zach says Gold Balls isn't an option. Dumbest one, I think, is Strong Guy. I actually like Strong Guy when they put him in X Factor way back in the day. But I don't think he should be an X-Men. Why would you have Strong Guy when you have Colossus? That's my thing. Like, X Factor didn't have that option, right? And so for a team dynamic, you kind of want like your strongman character. Every team always has one, right? So it's like, okay, they carried this guy, Strong Guy. He was cool. Not for X-Men, though. Not for X-Men. And I don't want to see Polaris. I used to like Polaris a lot, but then they made her Magneto's daughter, and I was like, what freaking asshat did this because, look, she's got magnet powers. She must secretly be Magneto's daughter. Well, it's because you're a moron. That's why. Like, no, Magneto's got 2 children, and it's Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. I know Marvel's retconned that because, hey, House of No Ideas. So are they even his kids anymore? No, probably not. And maybe Polaris is his only kid because they just screw up everything. They had to add a third Summers brother when that should have never happened, and it's stupid. You just had Scott and Alex before, and then, oh, hey, look, and there's the third one. I don't remember his name now. All of a sudden, I'm drawing a blank. Eric Breen says, Ernest Biner. Thank you. Thank you, Eric. I see Eric educates me on everything, comic books and sports. I had a good analogy in my head, but unfortunately my brain is too old that I couldn't make it work. I couldn't stick the landing. Marania says, I vote for Beak. Yes, Marania. Oh, she picked one that's even better than I did. Oh, Marania, that's amazing. Yes, vote for Beak. Doug says, yes, it has consistently been great. You must be talking about 7 to Eternity. Awesome. I'm going to have to check that book out. Ronnie says, those Kit Kats taste like an Andes mint, but with the crunch of the Kit Kat wafers added in. To quote Jimmy, they're so good. All right. Zach says, Gabriel Summers, a.k.a. Vulcan, an insane cosmic despot. Yes, Gabriel Summers, that's it. Right. I love how there's like 40 years of X-Men, and there's no Summers brother. There's just Alex and Scott, and there's times where they get to run off with dear old dad and the Starjammers, and he's like, he never once fucking mentions Gabriel, and then like Marvel just writes it in. Hey, there's a third brother that you've had all the time, and he's off in space too, where your dad is. Coincidentally, didn't mention like, oh, and Iceman's gay. Like what? What the hell's going on? God, Vulcan is stupid. Like, I'm not saying Vulcan is stupid. Needing to be a Summers brother is stupid. Just can you make him just Vulcan? What? Every time you need to tie a character to something, it's like name dropping. When people have to name drop, it's because they have their own insecurities and they don't feel like they can stand on their own 2 feet. So they name, like, oh, look who I know. Okay, well, stand on your own. Making Vulcan a Summers brother just means that you don't believe in the character enough that he can, he's part of these characters you already like. It's what they do with all these other, SJW characters, when they made, female Thor, right? They couldn't just make Jane Foster have a power. Like Odin makes a hammer for her and says, oh, Jane Foster, you've proven yourself, and my son is unworthy. In the meantime, here's this, like, and to have the dwarves make her a hammer, like they did for Beta Ray Bill. Remember when they made Beta Ray Bill his own hammer? I could have done that, and then they could have come up with a name for her, right? Like Stormbreaker. Oh, that name was probably already used. Stormy bitch. I mean, I don't know. They could have called her something. Thundercat. Thundercat. Oh. I'm just obviously farting shit out right now, but I imagine a few halfway intelligent people in a room for 15 minutes could hash it out and come up with something, or a Zoom call maybe. I mean, but no, they didn't, because they knew doing that no one would care. But when you attached her to Thor, she's Thor now. We have to care about her. It's like, that's what they do. They prop these people. Whenever they have to prop something up artificially, it's because it can't stand on its own 2 legs. Anyways, that was a long-winded rant about Vulcan. It's like no one even cares about Vulcan. Eric says, I had a comment today that said they love Perch, and the only way they want to watch me is at Golden Corral to see what I put on my tray. Wow. Although to be fair, I would be curious to see what you put on your tray. But that's just because I'm a curious person. And I like Golden Corral. So maybe you and I one day can go to Golden Corral together, Eric, and fill up our tray and have a Coke Zero. I was about to say a beer, but you don't drink, so Coke Zero's fine. RDV says Star-Lord is gay. Kitty Pryde is bi. Wolverine is gay son. Wolverine apparently is bi too. Franklin Richards is a mutant anymore, so on and so on. Hickman's run destroyed the X-Men. No, fortunately, Hickman built in a back door. Nope, no pun intended. Hickman built in a back door to his own run that it's impossible. He's made it impossible for himself to destroy the X-Men. And the more I think about it, I keep telling you guys, I have this theory that Hickman is trolling Marvel this whole time. Like, I think that what he's doing, like, Marvel's like, oh yeah, we got the great Jonathan Hickman. He's writing Marvel and all it's so great. And he's like, I want to go and do this. And Marvel's like, oh yes, sir, Mr. Hickman. That's the most brilliant thing we've ever seen before, Mr. Hickman. That's so great. And he's like, oh, and he's just trolling the shit. Like, he's just writing garbage, heaps of garbage. I'm going to make the X-Men tyrannical, authoritarian despots that want to commit genocide on a species level. Oh yes, Mr. Hickman, that sounds very... And we're going to... Because they're the real heroes of the story. Oh yeah, that sounds brilliant. And what we're going to do is we're going to take all these villains, some of the worst villains in the history of Marvel Comics, and we're going to make them X-Men now. And we're going to call them heroes. And we're just going to pretend that none of that ever happened. It's just whatever. Oh yeah, that sounds great idea. No. And the whole time he's just laughing, just going, what more shit can I do to this franchise before someone at Marvel wakes up and goes, wait a second, what are you doing? He just keeps doing it and doing it. And one day he's gonna like pull the curtain aside and expose what he's done. It's gonna just be like, man, what idiots you guys were. You let this go on for so long. I feel like that's the case. And what was I getting to? There's a point. Oh yeah, the back door. Because you see, I think Hickman genuinely does love X-Men. I think Hickman grew up reading comics, and I think he loved Chris Claremont X-Men. He said as much. He's talked about it. He definitely seems very knowledgeable. So he's not just making shit up out of thin air like some of these other writers. Like, oh, I love like Gail Simone. Oh my God, you listen to Gail Simone talk about comic books. Like, she doesn't know shit about anything. Like, and she just plays it off like, ha ha ha, look I'm pretending not to know anything. It's like, no, you're not pretending. You're just pretending that you're pretending not to know anything. And people like laugh with you because they think, oh, look, people think Gail doesn't know anything because she's pretending. No, she really doesn't. That's why she never actually says anything smart. Anyways, Jonathan Hickman's different. You can tell. The guy knows his shit. And he knows how to write. He's proven it time and time and time again. But his X-Men is fucking terrible. But he has not ruined it. That's my point. That's what I'm getting to. Stay with me. He has not ruined X-Men. Because at any single time, he can pull the plug and reset everything back to normal with Moira. Moira is the great back door. At any one time, like if he's like, psych Marvel, I was fucking with you guys. This is all bullshit. I just was trolling you. Marvel's like, oh my God, you ruined our grid. No. Just Wolverine kills Moira. The end. And time all resets. No harm, no foul. Instant fix. He built it right in the beginning. And, my thing is like, you don't build an ejector seat into your airplane unless you think the plane might malfunction and you might need to use it someday. So there we go. That's my theory of the day. Beta Ray Bill is gay, says RDV. And Storm is leaving the X-Men now. Oh, where the hell is she going? Is she going to go marry Black Panther again? Beta Ray Bill goes around carrying hot new Marvel artists. Doug says, comics are better when the characters are all just confused. Jimmy says, just got done recording. I'm back now. Oh, that's so nice of you to record in the middle of my stream. I appreciate that. Ed says, your Hickman Yesman character is brilliant. I sense the series coming. Oh, man. Ed Brewer, you're not you are. Oh, don't be one of those Nazis, Ed. Unless you're correcting yourself. And that's fine. That's one of my pet peeves when I see like on social media and someone types either your or your apostrophe, you know what I'm saying that way. I do it all the time. I'm a touch typer and I just blast out words. And sometimes the way I type, it's all based phonetically. So when I just hear like in my brain, I'm saying like your, and my fingers will automatically just Y-O-U-R. Just bam. Before I don't think about it. It's just like muscle memory. And I'll hopefully I edit myself and I catch it. But sometimes it's just typo. And then I see someone respond and I'm just like, oh, come on. Come on, man. Corn Pop was a bad dude. Don't be like Corn Pop. Zach says, Moira is the great backdoor. Questionable phrasing, I think. Oh, man, I wish I could high-five Zach. That was great. That was certainly not intended. X-Men Uni Party. The good guys and the bad guys are now all the same team, but Sabretooth just had to go for some reason. Artie says, Moira will always be my favorite backdoor. It's terrible. Oh, man. Jimmy says, I wasn't recording in the middle of your stream. I started recording before then and took a small break to say hi and then went back. All right. I'll let that slide. Jimmy says, I picked up 2 subs today, says Eric. Congrats, buddy. I think I picked up 2 subs as well. I'm almost back to 700 after the great purge. Let's get on to some comics. I know you guys don't come here to listen to me blather. And, I'm sorry for that. It's just part of what I do. I like to talk. I like to talk to you guys. This is my time to talk about comics and what's on my mind and talk with you guys. I know some of you are like, I'm just here for you to read the comic book. And I can appreciate that. But this isn't a job for me. This is me like doing it as a hobby. So I ask you to at least indulge me a little. That's all. No one's paying me. I'm not getting anything out of it other than my own entertainment. So I don't want to piss anyone off or bore anyone. Certainly, it's not my intent. But you can only customize what you're doing so much. Yeah. Anyways, enough apologizing. I'm trying to figure out how to get back to what I was doing. There it is. There it is. Ronnie says, full screen, please, Ash. Yes, ma'am. You should be seeing full screen now. Although I did put the video back onto normal latency because I was having issues before. And I had it on low latency. And for those of you that aren't familiar with what those terms mean, basically it's the latency is the amount of time for what I'm communicating on my end, on my computer, to Google over there, the YouTube. And it processes on the server and then lets you guys interact with it. And then I see what you guys have interacted and it comes back to me. It's like that round trip of data through the interwebs. That's their latency. And typically, YouTube has 3 settings. You've got normal, low latency, and like ultra low. And they recommend you don't do ultra low unless you've got a really kick-ass machine and like super crazy connection to the internet. Neither of which I have. So in the normal latency, it can be like 8 seconds or more. Typically, it's more between what I do here actually hits you guys. And then I have to wait for whatever you guys do to hit me back. And then there's a big delay. So I'm going to go back to low latency was better because it's only like three seconds, approximately 3 or 4 seconds. Anyway, I'm just blabbing again. Eric says, I'm here for the scintillating conversation. Well, you could come on and be a part of the conversation that actually has someone to talk to instead of having to wing it all the time. Ash, this isn't a job. This is an adventure. Oh, man. Nice. Very nice. I wish I could do Keith David. Do you ever see Keith David's Navy commercials? Accelerate your life. I can't do a Keith David impression, but if you've seen those commercials, you know what I'm talking about. All right. Let us go read book 5 of Donny Cates' Thanos Wins story arc, issue 17 of Thanos, from the 2016 to 2018 run. A total obsession with power drives him to control the forces of the universe. He is the Mad Titan. He is Thanos. Thanos has been dragged to the end of time and come face to face with himself, King Thanos, who has demanded the help of his younger self in a last gambit to win the love of death, killing the Fallen One. But the Fallen One has spent millennia becoming worthy to wield a secret weapon, the Hammer Mjolnir. The tale of the man once known as Norrin Radd is perhaps the greatest story ever told. It begins as a tale of honor and love, of a doomed planet, a ravenous god, a noble sacrifice. You know this story, and undoubtedly you know the legends that came after his ascension. His time as a herald, his treason against the devourer, his time as a hero, as a defender. But you do not know this story. You have never heard of the surfer's fall from the heavens, his battles with gods. You have never heard the tale of his redemption inside the shattered gates of Asgard. And you never will. Because once this war with the twin titans is over, look at that. He's got Mjolnir resting on Thanos' face. It's like crushing it. Just an inventive scene. Anyway, sorry. Continuing. There will be no one left alive to tell it. I am going to kill you with that hammer, Norrin. I see time has not quelled that delusional ego of yours, Thanos. You will never be worthy of this hammer, not if you lived 1,000,000 years more. But worry not, Titan. If you wish to be with Mjolnir, I will leave it to mark your grave. Ah, shit. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Cracker, boom. Boom. Gah. Wham. Arg. No. Arg. Boom. Hey, Chrome Dome. think you forgot something. You ain't the only herald in the house. Look at that flaming surfboard. It's like equal parts absurd and equal parts rad. I did not forget. I just don't care. Boom! Oh, dude. Norn just... Oh, I love this book. This is one of my favorite single comics of recent years. You haven't won anything, surfer. You've just unleashed something you cannot hope to contain. I have been beating back the fury of Thanos for eons, child. I assure you, I am more than ready to face the... You fool. I wasn't talking about the old man. Is that so? Then tell me, what is it that I have unleashed? Rumble, rumble, rumble. Hulk kill! That badass 2-page spread. Come on. Come on. Boom. Bruce. Hulk kill. Bruce, listen to me. Enough. Come on. Look at, he just catches him by the throat. Catches the Hulk by the throat. You caught me by surprise the first time, old friend. But please try to calm down. You'll only hurt yourself. Hulk kill! No. This isn't you. Listen to my voice, Bruce. Follow me home. Hulk kill. 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 Kill me. Please. Kill me. Oh, Bruce. What has that monster done to you? Don't let me hurt anyone, please. It's okay, my friend. Rest. This will all be over soon. Let's hurry this up, shall we? I grow tired of this dancing. I am not hiding, Thanos. Come then. Let us... Once again, surfer. No one is talking to you. There. At the end of time, the last spark of hope died in silence on a ruined earth. The fight, if it can be called that, was brutal. One-sided, cruel. The fallen one never begged or cried. The destroyers went about their work without speaking a word, not to the surfer and not to each other. their movements so precise and exact as if choreographed over centuries. Four hands on the same blade, two black hearts slowly beating the same meter. One could almost be forgiving for finding the beauty in it all. Of course, no one was left alive in all of existence to witness the last mad battle of King Thanos. Well, except for one. But she would not be stirred until the time was right. She would arrive neither early nor late. But she did watch. And, at times, if it can be believed, what did I tell you about that hammer? She laughed. And then it was done. The last Titan stood over the body of a shattered angel in a church built for their greatest love. For one of them, it was the end of an unwanted journey. There, your great foe is dead. Now send me home. For the other, it was the sweetest day of his never-ending life. Do you hear me, old man? You will. Shut up and look, boy. Because, with the death of the fallen one, King Thanos had given his mistress everything he could possibly give her. And lo, on a blackened earth, at the end of everything, there was death. Dressed for a wedding. To be continued. RDV says, "Oh, I see how it is. He invites Eric and not me." Well, Eric was talking about being part of the conversation. Also, I have invited you lots of times on things, and you turn me down all the time. Ed says, "I like this Black Surfer, but the title says Thanos wins." Mm-hmm. I presume you wrote that before a certain part of the book. Eric says, "Put Venkman in, coach." The surfboard is equal parts rad. I see what you did there. Marania. Ed says, "They were defenders together. Silver Surfer is immortal." RDB says, "No Arnold for Ash." Oh. I can't have anyone on when I'm reading comics, Venkman. That's the point. First, you're complaining I talk too much. Then you're complaining that you're not on to talk. I don't understand. I think you're just being petulant. I love that book. And it has a great cover. I think it's an expensive book. I was thinking I was want to try to find that book, but I think it's expensive. Well, there's really not much in the chat going on, so we'll just expedite to the next reading after I have a swig of more beer. The problem with drinking beer and doing this. Beer makes me all gassy, then I want to burp. I don't know if people would listen to my stream if I burped into the mic. And by the way, Melissa, Silver Surfer is not immortal. I believe they did that story that J. Michael Straczynski wrote, Silver Surfer Requiem. I read that on this channel, as a matter of fact. This is the death of Silver Surfer. All right. Well, this is the final issue. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think Thanos is going to win? Or do you think Thanos is going to lose? Put your bets down. These are the final days of Thanos. You have witnessed, in the telling of this tale, every single moment of consequence in the Mad Titan's life. You have seen the cruel birth and the merciful death of his foolishly brave black right hand. You have seen his ascension to godhood, his final foe brought low by 2 pairs of his own hands. You have seen all of this, and you have seen the emptiness that it has brought him. But here, at the end of everything, is something you will never see again. A Thanos at peace. My lady, you came. Indeed she has. But why has she stopped? Why does she not come further? What more does she want? Boy, careful what you... No! This is enough. No more. I grow tired of your games. I can only imagine how tired he is of them. What more do you want from me? Why will you not relent? Speak to me. We have given you everything that you wanted. There is nothing left to kill. What more could you? Oh. I have to kill you. That's why you brought me here. It was never to kill the surfer, was it? You've given her everything else in creation, but that's it, isn't it? We have to die to be with her, like everything else. Yes. And if Thanos must die, no one kills Thanos but Thanos. I love how emotive Jeff Shaw makes Death here. She never speaks any lines, but she communicates, and it all has to be done visually. And I just thought it was really well done. Continuing. I don't suppose you'll make this easy. Would you? Right. Let's end this then. I am anxious to be done doing your chores for you. Before we do, I wanted to say, the rider was my companion, but he was simple, meek. Though you are abrasive, it has been nice to feel that anger once again, that bottomless pit of desire, hate, and drive that has been dampened in me over time. It has been good to not be alone in these final days. If I may give you some advice to carry with you in your journey from this day to this day. In my time, I have seen such wondrous things, Thanos. Things that, in a way, I envy your young eyes to see for the first time. I have made many mistakes, but if I have learned one thing in my time, it is to never... Whack! Do you want to talk, or do you want to die? Very well, then. And of course, this is how it ends. The last of the Titans fighting for the hand of death at the dusk of time. It was not cold, the way their battle with the Fallen One was. Not clinical. No, there was something more to this fight. Each Thanos taking a combined eternity of pain and sorrow out on themselves, dealing not in words or feelings, but in their shared language of blood. Each blow a punishment for some hidden regret that they carried inside of them. For giving up. For giving in. Jealousy of strength. Hatred for weakness. And rage. Rage for the sadness and despair that they will never speak. Rage that they ball up inside their fists and throw into one another instead of daring to speak it aloud. Each of them roaring against the dawning certainty that what they hate the most in each other is that they are each other. It is perhaps fitting, one considers, that Thanos can only truly express himself while killing himself. Grog! Krakoom! Boom, boom, boom. Ah. Ah. Since he first laid eyes on his future self, Thanos has thought of little else but this very moment. This weak, pathetic old man, beaten and supplicant before him. What are you waiting for? The look of fear in his eyes as he sees the error in bringing himself to this world. Finish this. And the realization that his would be the last face he ever sees. And yet, kill me. If you were to ask Thanos to tell you how he believes the universe will come to its inevitable end, crack, he would tell you that he honestly doesn't think much about it at all. Because Thanos knows that whatever it is, no matter how everything ends, do it end this. He will be there for it. Thanos, please. And when it comes, he will face it on his feet. What are you doing? Thanos, come back and finish this, please. Kings do not beg. You coward. You weakling. You're afraid. Just a scared little boy. Come on. Come on, then. Come and finish what you start. Boom! Enough! You will not goad me into doing your work for you, old man. You want to die? Do it yourself. Snap. What are you doing? That gem is broken, you fool. It will not. Your Ghost Rider was able to charge the stone, yes? If only there were a herald here now. Thanos, do not do this. Do not leave me crippled and broken and alive. You are only dooming yourself. This is your fate. Your ceiling boy. This is your end. We cannot die. Do you know what that means? Oh, yes. It means that I have all the time I need. I will not kill you, old man. But until I am ash and bone, I will work without end to deny you. I will never become you. I will erase you. One way or another. Boom! A moment passes, and all is as it ever was. And then, laughter. Followed by a cold wind. Don't you see, my love? We are still here. The boy, he did nothing. I am meant to be. We are meant to be. And with it, the end of everything. Together. Because you see, the answer to our little riddle is simple. My lady, why do you look so? How will this marvelous universe of ours arrive at its bloody and inevitable end? Oh, you aren't dressed for a wedding. are you? He's done it. He's erased me. My love, before I am lost, tell me, what did he do to be rid of me? What did Thanos do? He won. Why it will end the same way every story that has ever been told has ended. With death. Death and nothing more. All right. Not many comments remaining. I do these things too late. Everyone's all sleepy. Ed Brewer says, unless someone's lying, Thanos wins. Thanos also lost. Death is a skeleton in the Deadpool comics. Lol, they are lovers. And nothing counts in a Deadpool comic. Eric says, cash me out, boss. I'm off to sleepy time. RDV says, ditto. I hope you stayed till the end of the comic book at least. Jeez. Knight, Eric, and RDV. Which of the stones does old Thanos have around his neck? That's the time stone. That's how he was able to summon his past self into the future. And that's how Ghost Rider was able to do what he did earlier in the book. Listen, screw Lady Death. Why don't Thanos marry himself? I don't think that's how marriage works. Then Doug confirms it was the Time Stone. Zach Richmond says, wow, awesome ending. Right? I feel one of the things I like about Thanos Wins, it feels so poetic. I mean, it's not really poetry, but it feels, it has a very poetic kind of story and a poetic ending. And I don't know. I like the way that he writes it. I like how Donny Cates uses that sort of ghostly narrator, to tell the story. A lot of comics don't do that anymore. I like that he just has the narrator kind of telling you the story and then letting Jeff Shaw just draw this beautiful art, and he's just narrating, hey, this is what's going on. And boom, you're just getting this awesome shots of different things. This is a spectacular book. It's not the greatest book I've ever read, but I think it's a 6-issue story. Absolutely worth reading. And I got to tell you, I've read this book a couple times already. Reading it again, it's been a while since I've read it. Reading it again for you guys, it's held up equally as much. Like reading it to you, I haven't enjoyed reading a book out loud to you guys quite as much as this in a while. Like I was just really into it, which is really helpful because when you sit down to do the show like I do, I'm sitting down like, if I'm not into the book, if I'm like, oh God, I got to read another issue of, Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, or something, I'm just like, it feels like it's going to be a chore. But with this book, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to read the final 2 issues tonight. It's going to be great. That says a lot. And this, like I said, this is the anchor point. This is the first Donny Cates story in Marvel I'm talking about his Marvel works that you should read. And everything else you read, no matter what order you read it in, and there is probably a preferred reading order, although not necessarily required reading order, they all somehow tie back to this. Sometimes it's just at a very microscopic level. Sometimes it's at a big level. So And none of it is necessarily like, oh, it's cluing you into more story or anything like that. I'm not saying like, oh, you can't, like, it's more in a connected world sort of sense. The things that happen in this story, it's not so much that they echo into the other stuff, because this is at the end times, right? This story takes place at the end of all things. What it is that you're starting to see things in Donnie's other books that you're like, oh, wait a second. This is heading towards Thanos wins. And the best example that I can give you without spoiling things is Silver Surfer Black. Because you read this story and you see the Fallen One and you go, oh shit, the Fallen One's actually Silver Surfer. But wait a second, why is Silver Surfer black? And then Donny Cates later on does a miniseries called Silver Surfer Black, in which he becomes Silver Surfer Black. Like, he becomes that. And so you get to read the story of how that happened. When you read this book here, you're like, why is he all black? We don't know that story. Right? And so, but that's what I mean by connective tissue. Then you go read Silver Surfer Black, and it's not like Thanos Wins helps you understand anything in Silver Surfer Black. No. What it does is it just helps it to feel like it matters more. It makes it feel like this is all one big universe, and the stories that all happen connect to each other, and they're all part of one giant universe. And it just, I don't know. To me, that matters a lot. And there's more. What's going on in King in Black? There's even some stuff. Absolute Carnage. You know, the whole Null stuff. I mean, it's all, even Venom. Like, Venom ties into some of this stuff. So, what I would read next, if you're a person, you read this, if this was like your kind of your first experiences with Donny Cates, if you've never read this before, I would recommend Cosmic Ghost Rider as the next thing to read after this. Now, I will say with a caveat that Cosmic Ghost Rider is written in a completely different tone. Cosmic Ghost Rider is very wacky. It feels like a Deadpool comic, but in a good way. Like, it's well done. It's a little weird because you're reading it and go, whoa, this feels like Deadpool, but it's not Deadpool. But who cares? It's a crazy Frank Castle, millions of years in the future. He's lived for millions and millions of years, and he's gone completely batshit crazy. He's basically not Frank Castle anymore. I don't even think of him as that. But he has a story that's about him that heavily ties into Thanos. And it's, I'm not going to say anymore. It's a really cool story. There's a really cool bit with some other Marvel characters that show up in the story that have some cool bits. Some of them particularly I was fond of, and I was like, oh my God. And I like that Donnie always feels well read in these characters. Like, he uses them in good ways that like appeal to fans of those characters. So like here, I'm a massive Silver Surfer fan, and he used Silver Surfer, even though Silver Surfer dies in a pretty sad, sucky way, he was used so awesome that it made me feel like, thank you, Donnie, for treating Silver Surfer right, you know, as a fan. He does a similar thing in Cosmic Ghost Rider, but just, I just want to forewarn you, because some people read Cosmic Ghost Rider and they're like, man, this is all wacky and weird. It's on purpose. It's meant to be absurd. It's meant to be tongue-in-cheek and goofy, because it is. It's a story about an insane character, but there is a story of heart there. It does have heart, and it has a cool ending. That's what I would read next. And then if you're still on the Donny Cates wagon, I would read Venom 1 through 12. And then after that I would read Guardians of the Galaxy, at least 1 through 6, because Silver Surfer Black continues off of after issue 6. Then you can read Silver Surfer Black or continue with the Guardians of the Galaxy. And then if you've read all of that, I haven't read Death of the Inhumans yet. I do want to read it out of curiosity. I just don't care about the Inhumans. His Thor run right now that he's writing. His Thor run is really good right now. So, and then in between there, you could go back to more Venom stuff, because Absolute Carnage is a story about Null. And then King in Black is an even bigger story about Null. So there we go. So hopefully that gives you some clues on the preferred reading order. Marani asked a question. That's the best I could give you. Let's see. Zach says, if you read Cates' Guardians of the Galaxy, you should read Death of the Inhumans first. Oh, really? Okay. So I have to find Death of the Inhumans at some point because I've never read it. And Doug says, do not read Cates' Marvel Knights. That's what I've heard too. And I never read it, mostly because I remember when that came out, like he like wrote like the first issue, but then like he kind of delegated stuff to people and they just kind of stamped his name on it. And I could tell it was very much an obvious, like, oh, Donny Cates, Marvel Knights, like bullshit. You guys pulled this out of your ass. Like it was like the 20th anniversary of Marvel Knights. I was like, if this was a real event, you would have advertised it long ago. Like, because they like announced it at the very last minute. Like, oh, hey, next month Marvel Knights coming out. You're like, wait, what? And it just felt really half-assed. And, oh, Donny Cates is doing it too. And they're like, you're just stamping his name on it. So I skipped it. And it's fell down the memory hole, so you can tell how good that is. But, guys, it is before midnight here, so I'm making good time. I do hope that you enjoyed that book. It was my pleasure to read it to you. If you have any questions about reading order, you can rewind the video and listen, or come to me on Twitter or Discord. I'll be happy to just share what I think is a good reading order with you. I love talking comics, especially stuff that I'm excited about and enjoy. I very much enjoyed this book. I hope I did it justice for you. It would have been kind of funny in hindsight to do it with RDV, with Arnold Schwarzenegger doing the voice of Thanos, and we could have both done. And I don't know, that might have been a train wreck. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and cut this stream off. As always, thank you for being here. Thank you for giving me someone to read to. Thank you for giving me someone to talk to. And as always, read good comics. Until next time, I'm Ash, and I'll see you next time. Same Ash channel, same Ash time. Or is that the other way around? Who cares?